My 40 male, wife, 44 female, had a 3-year affair with someone she works with and only told me because his wife found out. Not too long ago, my spouse approached me and asked for a conversation. Initially, I didn't think it was anything out of the ordinary. However, to my dismay, she disclosed that she had cheated on me. Her infidelity involved exchanging text messages and sharing a kiss with someone else. Our relationship has lasted for over 2 decades, and I could sense that she was holding back something from me. I kept urging her to come clean about the entire situation if we were to have any chance of salvaging our marriage. Several days went by, but my wife remained steadfast in her narrative, which I suspected was incomplete. Then, it occurred to me that she had recently acquired a new phone. As a result, I went through her old phone that I found in her handbag and discovered that the affair was more than just a fling. In fact, it was almost as though she had been involved in a second romantic relationship. Following my wife's confession, she implored me to attend counseling with her, and I agreed as I believed that it would aid my healing process. During the second session, the therapist asked my wife to divulge the details of her affair, including when it began and how it unfolded. My wife proceeded to disclose that the inappropriate texting started 4 years ago, progressed to sexting 3 years ago, and finally physical contact was initiated 2 years ago. At this point, I felt completely lost. Our children and extended family were unaware of the situation, or so we thought. Our children are all adults, with the youngest being a senior in high school. In light of this, I agreed with my wife that even if I were to request a divorce, we would not make any moves until our youngest child is left for basic training. As we navigate through this challenging situation, we must prioritize our children's well-being and do everything possible to minimize any potential disruptions to their lives. It is a difficult and complicated road ahead, but we must make every effort to handle this situation with grace and dignity. Redditor's reactions. Next story after. Redditor 1. I don't think there's any coming back from that. Wife finds out if they divorce what's stopping your wife from going back to him with or without being married to you. On top of that, she trickled truths, and you only find out the full extent after finding her old phone. If you don't have trust, you don't have a relationship, and it's not like this was a one-night stand. This was intentional and lasted for years without you having any idea. Redditor follow-up. Exactly. She only confessed because App's wife found out, not because she repented. Okay, sorry, but what a what? Yeah. If I were Opie, don't think I want to be with her anymore. 4 years is a long time. It's like having another family. Redditor 2. 3 years. Oh! I wouldn't be able to get over cheating, but 3 years?
And the only reason it ended and you found out, if it ended, and it was because the Earps found out.
Op answer. Yeah, she only told me because his wife figured it out, and mine was scared I would find out. I figured this was the reason for all the lying. Redditor 3. So she ducked some other dude for 3 years, lied to you about it when she was backed into a corner, and then lied some more. She has 0 respect for you and will 100 slide to you in the future, if it suits her whim. What are you even asking? Kick her out of the house and tell your kids exactly why. They're adults. They have every right to know what kind of person their mom is. Story 2. Girlfriend won't tell me the full story. Should I get it myself? Recently, my significant other informed me that she was unfaithful to me while at work earlier this year with a coworker who no longer works at her place of employment, according to her. However, she has refused to divulge any further details, only revealing what she deems necessary, that she cheated, and that knowing additional information will only exacerbate my anger. Despite her objections, I am eager to obtain specific information about the affair. I desire to know the identity of the individual with whom she cheated, as well as the precise date. However, my partner has been reticent to share this information, claiming that it is irrelevant and that she cannot remember the exact date due to her embarrassment and efforts to repress the memory. My frustration with the lack of transparency has led me to contemplate taking matters into my own hands. I have considered contacting my girlfriend's co-workers, with whom I am acquainted with one through social media, and reaching out to her workplace's social media account to inquire about the status of the aforementioned co-worker. My desperation for answers has driven me to this point, as I crave the truth and cannot endure this ambiguity any longer. As I consider my options, I'm weighing the possibility of reaching out to my girlfriend's coworker for more information about the infidelity. However, I'm apprehensive about the potential repercussion of doing so. I'm aware that disclosing the affair to the coworker could potentially damage their relationship, particularly since this person is involved with their boss. I'm concerned that this could lead to consequences for my girlfriend, such as losing her job, as the incident occurred while they were on the clock. Therefore, I must take great care in how I proceed with this situation, taking into account all possible outcomes and ramifications. I don't want to jeopardize my girlfriend's employment or put her in any unnecessary harm. Nonetheless, I'm still grappling with the pain and confusion caused by her betrayal, and I feel compelled to seek out the truth, even if it means potentially causing conflict in other areas. It's a difficult and complex decision, and I'm taking my time to weigh all my options before taking any action. Please help. Am I crazy? Update. Thank you all for your honest thoughts about this. While some of the feedback is undeniably harsh, I must concede that it is the truth, even if it is something that I am hesitant to acknowledge deep down. I concur with the overall consensus that my partner's story seems dubious, and her evasive explanation raises suspicions that she may be concealing some pertinent information. It is currently 9:41 a.m., and I am finally attempting to sleep after suffering from anxiety attacks all night brought on by the challenge of adapting to my new life and surrounding. When I awaken, my intention is to contact my partner and clearly define my boundaries while also pressing her to disclose the full extent of her infidelity, including whether the affair is still ongoing, and if she is merely apprehensive about sharing the truth. I refuse to settle for anything less than complete honesty from her. For the time being, I bid you all good night, and I will provide an update on the situation once I have spoken with my partner. Redditor's reactions. Next story after. Redditor 1. Dude, she's already failed girlfriend 101. Why are you considering letting her retake the course? Seriously, it doesn't sound like she's girlfriend material or is even remorseful for what she did. Let her go and find someone else. You deserve better. Redditor 2. She remembers every detail. She cheated, told you, but continues to deny you the full truth. If you don't stand up for yourself and go, she will cheat over and over again. She will cheat over and over again. She cheats, you stay. She will never have any respect for you. Redditor 3. You recognize that she's full of poop, right? She didn't forget. She didn't block it out. She doesn't want to give you any details because she doesn't want you to look into this any further. She doesn't want you to know if she's still in contact with this person. She doesn't want you to know it happened more than once, or even that it was more than one person. For me, personally, I'd tell her she's right. I don't need any more info. I know she cheated, and I know that she has no interest in regaining my trust, so I'm sure that it will happen again. I don't need any more information to know this relationship is done. I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with someone that I know will cheat on me and not respect me enough to answer my questions. I don't think you're crazy for wanting more info. I think you're crazy for not recognizing that there's not any chance you can have a healthy relationship knowing what you already know. Story 2. Wife of 17 years admitted she cheated. I have been married to my high school sweetheart since 2012. We started dating in 2005 and had 2 beautiful children who are now 8 and 10 years old. Recently, we attended a friend's birthday party where my wife got a little drunk and flirtatious. When we returned home, we put the kids to bed and went to our room to be intimate. During this moment, we began to discuss our fantasies and what turns us on, and in the heat of the moment, my wife admitted to me that she had been involved with another man in the past. Initially, I decided not to confront her about it because she was drunk and I didn't want to escalate the situation. The next day, I approached her while she was sober and asked her to talk about what she had said the previous night. She confirmed that she had been involved with a married man who was 12 years older than her and claimed that they had only slept together twice. However, she also admitted that she couldn't remember the exact details because it had happened so long ago, in 2015, just 2 years after our marriage and a month after our son's first birthday. This revelation has left me feeling confused and hurt. I trusted my wife completely, and this betrayal has shattered that trust. I am struggling to come to terms with the fact that she kept this secret from me for so long. Despite her apology, I still feel angry and betrayed. I am unsure about how to move forward in our relationship, and I feel like I need more information about the affair to fully understand what happened. My partner admitted to cheating on me, but is being evasive when I ask for details. She has given me some information, but it contradicts what she has previously said. leaving me confused about the situation. Although I believe her when she says she hasn't cheated since then, I'm still hurt and angry that she betrayed my trust. Despite this, I still love her and want to try to work through our issues, but it's difficult for me to let go of what happened. I'm struggling with the pain and wondering if I'm making the right decision to stay with her. To make matters worse, I'm considering telling the wife of the man my partner cheated with, but I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do. It's frustrating to see him living his life without consequences, while I am left dealing with the aftermath of their affair. I need advice on whether or not to tell the wife and how to move forward with my relationship with my partner. Will the pain ever go away? Can I truly forgive her for what she did? These are the questions weighing on my mind. Redditors' reactions. Next story after. Redditor 1. Get DNA test for both the kids. Redditor 2. I'm going to break down to some base facts and questions. 1. She lied for 7 years. 2. Did she even say she's sorry? 3. She remembers. Of course she does. 4. Ask how she'd be doing if it was you confessing this 7 years later. 5. What else has she lied about? She's shown it's easy for her to do. 6. She disrespected you. 7. She betrayed you. 8. She is rug sweeping. 9. She broke your wedding vows and is essentially shrugging her shoulders about it. 10. Trust is now broken. That never magically fully heals. 11. Your feelings are valid, natural, and reasonable. 12. She's had 7 years to excuse her way out of this and get over it. To you, it happened the day she told you. 13. His wife deserves to know. 14. Any healing depends on her actions. 15. You deserve better. Redditor follow-up. Couldn't put it any better myself. I'd also add that get a steed and paternity test too. You can't believe a cheater. Redditor 3. But I do find myself in bad spots at times, lost in my own mind. And when she notices me, she gets upset at me because I don't know how to let things go. Do you know what's worse than someone who cheats? Someone who cheats and is unremorseful, unrepentant, unapologetic, and lacking in empathy. Unless her attitude changes drastically, reconciliation is likely to fail miserably, and you will continue to hurt indefinitely, or until you become numb. And yes, please tell the other man's wife. We all deserve to live an honest life. Redditor follow-up. This reminds of a time here in UK when a wife put rat poison she borrowed from her sister in her husband's cereal so he would miss out on a promotion he was being interviewed for, but unintentionally put him in the hospital. 5 years later, they moved house and noticed rats in the garden. They warned people in their house breaking in party, and the sister said, "I still have that rat poison that I gave you for the old house." The husband stated they never had rats in that house and managed to connect the dots, and confronted her in front of everyone. She came clean and said it was history and he should get over it. Needless to say, she was charged by the police. Story 3. Wife posted about considering divorce on Reddit.
39.
So a few months ago, my soon-to-be ex-wife posted about 20 of our story in here, and some very worthless advice was given to her. I just wanted people to see the outcome of her action. At the moment, I feel like I'm stuck in a difficult situation because my wife is not open to the idea of seeking help through counseling or therapy. Our marriage has been struggling for almost 3 years, and a big part of it is due to financial struggles. I've been hopping from job to job in search of higher pay, while my wife had to go through the long and arduous process of getting her Greencard, which left her unable to work for a year. During that time, we relied on my meager income and whatever money she could make online. When my wife finally got her Greencard, she refused to take entry-level jobs, thinking that it would only trap us in the same cycle of poverty. Instead, she got a temporary job that helped us for a few months while I drove for Uber, but we still struggled to save money. Our long commute to Nova, Washington, D.C., which took up to 3-5 hours a day, left us with little time to cook, so we spent a lot on food and ate out often. Despite our financial struggles, we still found ways to enjoy ourselves. We used a MoviePass subscription to watch movies multiple times a week and had game nights at Dave & Buster's. We also explored DC's museums and went on walks together. However, our financial situation has taken a toll on our marriage, and my wife's refusal to seek professional help makes me feel like we're at a standstill. I'm not sure what our future holds, but I'm determined to find a way to make things work. Despite my best efforts to save our marriage, my wife refused to attend counseling or therapy. We had been struggling for almost 3 years, partly due to my inability to secure a decent job and my tendency to move from one job to another in search of higher pay. Meanwhile, my wife was going through the process of obtaining a green card, which took over a year, during which she couldn't work. We were living off of my weekly earnings and her online work, barely making ends meet. After she finally received her green card, she refused to apply for beginner jobs, fearing that we would get stuck in dead-end positions with no room for advancement. When her temp job ended, and I could no longer drive for Uber due to a past mistake I made as a teenager, things became even more difficult. We had to return the car rental we had been using for over a year, and I begged Natalia to apply for jobs at nearby stores like CV's, but she still refused. I wish I had pushed harder, but I wanted her to be happy, even if it meant we struggled financially. However, I knew deep down that if she didn't start contributing to our finances, we would continue to struggle. Desperate for work, I scoured job postings and eventually landed a great job building greenhouses. It took 2 weeks before I could start, but it was worth it. The company provided me with a car, paid for my meals and lodging, and allowed me to work as many hours as I wanted. My wife came along with me and even worked a bit to help us save money. We worked tirelessly for 4 months, with barely any time off. Our hard work paid off, and we were able to catch up on our bills. I received necessary dental work, and we even saved $6,000 for a much-needed vacation. During our month-long vacation in Argentina, I suggested that my wife stay and spend more time with her parents. I knew that when she returned, she would need to find a job so that we could save up to buy a house and start our married life together. She agreed, and I returned to the U.S., expecting to work hard for the next 2 months until she came back. However, I received news that there was no work available until February, which was still a few months away. So, I decided to go back to Florida, where we initially moved for my Uber job. About a month later, my wife called me and told me that she had a job opportunity in Chicago. I expressed my concerns about the high cost of living, the state's financial difficulties, and the long, harsh winters. Despite this, I agreed because I could see how excited and passionate she was about the job. My wife then flew from Argentina to Chicago for the job interview and later came to Florida to spend a few weeks with me. Unfortunately, I ended up working the entire time and barely had any time to spend with her. However, she eventually got the job and went to stay with her parents in Miami while she waited for us to move to Chicago. I drove down to Miami to visit her on a weekend, and we spent 2 wonderful days and a night together. Little did I know that this would be the last time I would see my wife. We had planned for me to help her move to Chicago and settle into our new apartment, but her parents took over and pushed me to the background. Our plan was for me to save up for a car and then join her in Chicago, but fate had other plans. During our marriage, my wife and I had discussed and planned out my job options, trying to find the best fit for me. We had agreed on a few different solutions, and everything was planned out. However, when the day came that I could finally come join her after months of being apart, she surprised me by saying that she wasn't sure that's what she wanted. She gave vague reasons that didn't justify a divorce, but said that she needed time to think about what she wanted. Over the next week, I was waiting for her to tell me she didn't want to be with me anymore, and I tried to figure out what I had done wrong. She continued to give me lines like, "It's not you, it's me. I can't help how I feel, and it wouldn't be fair to ask you to change." A week later, she confirmed that she wanted a divorce. I couldn't help but feel used. I had worked tirelessly for almost 3 years to fulfill every need and want she had. I even worked myself to the brink of exhaustion to save $6,000 in just 2 months to take her to Argentina to see her parents. And yet, here we were, with our marriage falling apart despite all my efforts to make her happy. She lands her dream career job in a city across the country from me, and when I tell her we're ready to buy a new car so I can go join her, she tells me that she doesn't want me there and wants a divorce. At that moment, I was feeling completely lost and confused. I couldn't understand how my wife could just leave me after everything I had done for her. I was desperately searching for answers and trying to make sense of everything that had happened. It was then that I stumbled upon a post on Reddit that had been deleted by my wife. But with a little digging, I was able to find it, and what I read shocked me. In the post, my wife had only shared a fraction of the truth. She made it seem like I was holding her back in life because of my felony record and how she needed to focus on her new career job. She didn't mention all the sacrifices I had made to support her dreams and how I had worked tirelessly to ensure that she had everything she needed. It was heartbreaking to see that she had only shared part of the story to make herself look good and justify her action. What's worse is that some of the people on Reddit were encouraging her to leave me and focus on herself. They were telling her to be selfish and not worry about the impact her actions would have on me. It made me wonder what kind of person would tell someone to just walk away from their marriage without trying to fix the problem. It was clear that they didn't know the whole story, and it was frustrating to see my wife getting validation for her selfish behavior. So now that the whole story is out there, no, she will not keep her job. She has stipulations on the marriage-based green card to prove it wasn't a fraudulent wedding. Well, at this point, it's a pretty straightforward case. So, not only will she not have her dream career job anymore, but now she may have to spend any money she's able to save on a lawyer, so hopefully she doesn't go to jail for green card fraud, and then she'll have to go back to the third worst economy in the world. But I'm gonna hold her back in life. By the way, before we even met in person, she was told everything about my past, so there was nothing hidden. So since I need to ask for advice, where should I travel in the world first now that my monthly bills went from $2,500 to just $600 a month? Redditors, reactions, Redditor 1. Bro, you should be thanking the morons that post here who tell every single person they should dump their soul. The morons of the internet literally revealed to you that your ex-wife is trash oh my oh. Redditor 2. Save money for at least 6 months emergency in Dawn. Waste it. Also, can you link her post? Redditor 3. To be fair, there's quite a few that also say don't listen to just what Reddit says. So she picked out the advice she wanted to hear to validate her poor decisions. I thought it was assumed that there's a lot of info filtered out since we're only hearing from one person. I'd recommend traveling to Japan. It seems fun to be a tourist there. Redditor follow-up. This sub is a ducking pity party though. When one is emotionally vulnerable, most lack the critical thinking skills and self-control to stay pragmatic. Most people aren't even pragmatic to start with. Many will come to this board without realizing they already have an answer they want to hear. They simply need an echo chamber to do so. This is how the whole Cells poop devolved into some guy getting into a van and driving over a bunch of people. So email both the wife and the morons here that ducking suck at relationships and default to breaking up, divorce, or to blame. I mean, there's a reason why so many people here are vocal about their problems.
Low ass at selecting partners and maintaining a stable relationship.
If they didn't, they wouldn't be on here to start with. But then people come here for advice. Lol. I'm really sorry to hear your situation. Get into racing motorcycles with all that extra cash. It develops confidence and a true understanding of yourself and your limit.